Semifinals basketball continues dito po sa Governor's Cup. Habang mainit pa rin ang paglalabanan ng dalawang koponan, looking to continue their winning history, and one looking to win their first round. Yan po ang koponan ng Sunbeam Coffee Mixers kalaban ang Meralco Bulls. It's history versus hunger. Magandang gabi po mga kaibigan. Rado Di Malibot, makakasama po si Coach Eric Reyes as we bring you yung dating best of 5 series, ngayon best of 3 na lang, Eric.
Paikli na paikli, pero alam mo naman these two teams are actually both hungry, especially in this actually pivotal game number 3.
Well, ako po ng Meralco coming from a victory with a 73-69 victory over Sunbeam Coffee na nanalo naman po ng game 1. In both games though, makikita natin, Eric, it's the Meralco Bulls who's been coloring, who's been dominating and getting those boards.
Well, Rato, I was checking on the stats, no. Yung points for ng Meralco, they're actually the last in the league. Pag sama-samahin mo na pati elimination round. That's why offensive rebounding is actually going to be key because it gives them extra possessions to make an attempt at the basket.
Well, ang kupunan po ng Meralco, they're averaging 55 rebounds compared to only 44 naman ang kupunan ng Sunbeam Coffee in their first 2 outings. At saan kinukuha ng Meralco itong kanilang lakas? Well, yung kanilang dalawang power forwards na mga lokal. Ang binabanggit po natin, Reynald Nathan and of course Cliff Hodge.
Well, itong dalawang to is actually critical, especially when it comes to the rebounding. Cliff Hodge, we know that he's going to be big when it comes to board work. At ang kailangan nga talaga dito, since you know that mababang shooting percentage or yung field goal percentage ng bansang Meralco, you would expect that these two guys will go to work and provide those points underneath.
And on the other hand naman, si Coach Tim Go na mo problema because yung kanyang dalawang frontliners, in Joe Devans and Mark Pingris, well, in the last game, 3 and 4 ang kanilang rebounds but ang kanilang scoring, they were limited to none. Wala pong kinontribute. Etong si Mark at si Joe, when in fact in the game number 1, Joe even emerged as the best player of that ball game.
Well, these two guys are actually expected to provide the points, pero yun nga sila yung dalawa nakokontra dun sa Hodge and Hugnatan combination. They're the ones who have to provide the board work, and at the same time, they're the ones who have to provide the muscle under the basket.
Those 4 players na ating pong nabanggit, kabilang sa starting 5 na magkabilang kupunan. Habang nakikita po natin ang ating starting 5, Barokay, Pingris, Blakely, and Devans for Meralco. Ito be Cortez, Wilson, West, Hodge, and Hugnatan. Walang masyadong pagbabago sa kanilang mga starting 5 in this series. As James Schaap, yung kanyang unang attempt, hindi mo pumasok. James Schaap, isang mamari na ating babantayan dito. He may be averaging about 14 points per game, but the impact, Eric, hindi pa nararamdaman ni Sandy.
Well, at the same time, James Schaap, kaya nga siya tinawag ng Big Game James because he would always provide those crucial points at end game, and those are the things that kailangan i-provide ulit ni James Schaap, lalong-lalo na nung 4th quarter nung game number 2.
As a traveling violation was called against Reynald Hugnatan, makita po natin agad nag-adjust ang defense of Reynald Hugnatan because Reynald has been hurting Sunbeam in the first 2 games.
Masakit talaga yung ginawa ni Reynald Hugnatan. Nakokontrol nga nila si Mario West, but ang maraming damage sa ginagawa itong si Hugnatan underneath.
Again, ang kupunan ng Sunbeam Coffee hoping for a good game from Joe Devans. Kaya po natin binanggit, nagpakita ng game number 1 pero nawala ng game number 2. And Mark Pingris, who was scoreless in the second game, Pintis din yung kanyang unang attempt in this ball game. Still scoreless for both teams. As we start the first quarter, 10 minutes and 42 remaining. Mario West has been given the touches. He had the confidence of the entire team, not only the coaches but his teammates. But so far he's not shooting really that well.
Well, he was actually forced to take outside shots, but Mark Cortez, when you give him that outside shot, he will nail it.
The Cool Cat tallying the first 2 points of the ball game. Sunbeam Coffee still looking for Marcus Blakely, but that play erupted on their faces. Not really a good pass from the part of Joe Devans. These first 2 games, partner, have been a low-scoring game. Both are low-scoring games. At yung pareho ang gusto ng dalawang kupunan na ito.
Yes, it's actually expected that both teams would actually be scoring in the mid-80s. Ngayon, ang maganda dito for Meralco, pag tumaas actually yung score, mas lamang dito ang Sunbeam Coffee. On the other hand, Meralco really prefers it low because they rely a lot on their defense.
Jake Schaap umatake, hindi pa rin nakuha ang kanyang 2 puntos. Counter-attack on the part of the Meralco Bulls as they see John Wilson for 3. Hindi pumasok po yan as Marcus Blakely controls the board para sa Sunbeam Coffee Mixers. Hand off to James Yap. Yung earlier two guys na ayaw, yung pangatlo. Ayaw pa rin pumasok. Mario West kukuha sa kaliwa. They'll go to Mark Mendez, who swings into the right side. Going one-on-one against Mark Baroka. Balik na kay Cliff Hodge, who will attack using the baseline. Yung passing niya naantala at makukuha ni Mark Fingris. Mark Baroka is starting in this game instead of Alex Malyari.
Normally you would expect Baroka to come off the bench para may suporta kagad for the first five. Pero dito si Coach Tim bumalasa muna at ginamit kagad si Baroka because he's been having good games, especially when it comes off the bench. So now he needs that. Ang isa pa dyan, Rado, itong Salming Coffee game number 2, masama yung kanilang start. They had a slow start in game number 2 and that's the reason why itong Meralco naman talagang umarangkada kagad in the beginning. It was actually a struggle for Salming Coffee, particularly Dibas and Fingris towards the end game because they couldn't really get their game going because malaki ang ngayong kanilang posisyon.
As Mario West scores his first two in the game. At ito na naman, ayaw ng Salming itong nangyayari nito because maagang nagsimula ang kupunan ng Meralco. All the 4 points belong to the Meralco Bulls.
Mahirap dito kasi, Rado, pag hindi naka-recover kagad ang Salming Coffee, it's really very hard to get their confidence going because you know that Meralco will tighten up on defense.
Marcus Blakely with a tip in, so scoreless pa rin. Ito si James Yap, 0 out of 4, and he's given the possession, pero hindi na ipapasok ni James as Mark Fingris makakanakaw dito. And all series long, we see a lot of hustle from all players from both teams that makes this series an exciting one.
Well, that is expected of guys like Fingris and Hodge. These guys are the ones who provide the energy, to uplift the mood of the team in any battle that they have, especially when the going gets tough.
The cool cat. Nakalampas doon at nakita niya luwag si Reyna Lugnatan. Bintis yung kanya tira, but sumabit doon si Mark Fingris. Giving all for the personal foul. Pero tinapapa siya sa mukha yung pagbaba ng braso nito si Reyna Lugnatan.
Double black ay nangyari kay Fingris. Natawagan na siya ng personal foul. Actually, I think it's the right kanang kamay niya na Lugnatan nung pag-landing niya.
Let me go back to Reyna Lugnatan. This player, not really that flashy player na nga lagi ko umi-score heavily, but yung kanyang pagtatrabaho, getting those offensive rebounds, moving out the ball, nandun lang lagi sa tamang pwesto.
I actually thought that the peak of Reyna Lugnatan's career was in Alaska. But when he came to Meralco and he has proven to everyone that he is the top power forward, and you can really see because pag nawala si Lugnatan on the floor because of foul trouble, nagbabago yung tema ng laro ng Meralco.
And when you are playing the way Reyna Lugnatan is, you can afford to change hairdos every game. But that time, his defense was futile on Mark Fingris. Nakapagdala po ng kanyang unang 2 puntos. At Sammy Coffee Mixers jump the lead of Meralco down to only 2. Mario West nakita sa ilalim si Hodge. Lugnatan receives the ball. Pero mananatili po siya Meralco Bulls ang possession after the tap out. 9 seconds in the shot clock para sa naka-orange na Meralco Bulls. Hodge at the low blocks. Nakapayon doon si Mark Fingris. Pero sumapit doon at ang nakataas ang kamay is Marcus Blakely trying to help the cause of Mark Fingris, who was called for his second personal foul.
Malaking bagay talaga si Mark Fingris for Coach Tim Cohn. That's why you see a lot of the other players nga trying to get that foul instead of Fingris because he actually plays a critical role defensively, and especially now that he's attacking Lugnatan on the low post.
And we all know the importance of Mark Fingris. Dito po sa rotation itong si Coach Tim Cohn. Now na meron na siyang 2 maagang personal fouls. Let's see how Coach Tim Cohn will adjust. Samantala, ito series of picks for James. He was blocked. But there was a foul. John Wilson, down under, ay matatawagan ng kanyang unang personal foul. We are not surprised, Eric. Ganito ang ating tala. 7-4 with almost half a quarter pass by. Ito ang depensa ng 2 kupunan na ito. But at least in the first 2 games, mas gusto ng Meralco ito. The best defensive team in the league right now.
Definitely, actually, sinabi nga, I was going through the notes kanina, pag ang team na kalaban ng bansang Meralco ay below 80, 4-0 ang kanilang record.
Wow.
That really means that they really prefer the scoring to be low because pag naging gano'n, naging-click yung kanilang depensa.
In the first game, which was won by San Miguel Coffee, they outscored Meralco 83-73. But when Meralco won, 73 pa rin yung kanilang number at 69 naman itong San Miguel Coffee.
Ang baba eh. Actually, I was doing radio during that game. Nag-usabi ko nga kay Benji na talagang siguro swerte na umabot na 75 years old. 73 nga lang yung naging score ng that last game.
And look at that ball by Reyna Lugnata. Nakala mo si... Our Thriller Friday offering is game number 3 between San Miguel Coffee Mixers and Meralco Bolts. And as we talk about the Mixers, 2 players na parang nawala nung game 2. Mark Pingris and Joe Devans. As our courtside reporter Erica Padilla has a story on these frontline players.
Obvious na nagkulang ng init ang big man na San Miguel Coffee Mixers na si Mark Pingris at si Joe Devans. First time daw nilang makakuha ng 0 sa semis at hindi pa kataasan ang kanilang rebounding with scores 4 and 3 respectively. Malaking factor daw ang pagod dahil sa tuloy-tuloy na laro pero wala na daw excuse dahil kailangan na daw nilang maging agresibo dahil kung sino man ang makakuha ng ikalawang panalo will most likely get the third. Balik sa inyo, Eric and Rado.
Well, thank you, Erica. And when you talk about aggressiveness, hindi talaga nagkukulang dito. But James Yap is still missing, though he was fouled in the last play and the foul given to Reyna Lugnatan.
Well, the good thing about James Yap, he can light it up any given night. He just has to keep on shooting. We've seen it in other players like even Jeff Chan of Rain or Shine. He's not really shooting well as expected from 3-point range. Pero nakikita mo naman dumadiretso sa basket, so that's something that of course we are expecting big game James to be doing that, and early on in this quarter pinapakita niya agad sa atin yun.
Pero ang kapuna-puna dito, Eric, ayun pangatawan nitong si James Yap, parang kondisyon na kondisyon. Mukhang totoo talaga yung kanyang pagbibigay ng premium sa kanyang depensa. At yun na isa sa mga pinatutuhan itong si Coach Steve ko na nababanggit din niya na James is not now a single-faceted player na talagang sa depensa rin kumakayo din ito. So in the last play, he was given his first personal.
Well, malaking bagay yun because alam mo, yung tiwala ni Coach Steve na si Big Game James ay gagawa defensively, pinapatawad niya si Mario West. So that's really one way of showing your number 1 player that may tiwala ko sa defensive ball guard him.
And 6 ang ating dala mga kaibigan. Eksakto kalahating quarter na ang nakakalipas sa atin dito sa first. Mas dadangkal na naman itong si Mark Pingris against Reynald Lugnatan.
Grabe yung ginawa doon ni Pingris. Can you imagine? Halos konting-konti lang yung puwelo niya. He can actually slam it. But makikita mo that he's actually attacking Lugnatan aggressively, making Lugnatan work defensively as well.
Dalawa na po na personal. Yun nga match up ni Mark at ni Reynald at the post. As Marcus Blakely goes to work at the same territory at the low post, pero may foul na may tatawag on Mario West for the push. J.R. Reyes will enter the hard court para palitan ng may dalawa na pong personal foul na si Reyna Lugnatan. Mark Pingris still in the ball game. Mark Baroka goes 1-1 against the Cool Cat. 7 seconds in the shot clock. And it back to Baroka. 2 seconds, Baroka nakakupkup doon, napilitang itapon yung bola. Walang tinamaan dyan, makukuha ni Mike Cortez. Mario West na iwanan, he'll attack with a side-stepping move. Tumama yung kanyang braso sa mukha ni Mark Pingris and he'll be called for the offensive foul.
Well, actually, we've seen that many times. Ganun kasi dumrive talaga si Mario West eh. He would rather drive instead of isi-swing niya na mababa yung bola parating mataas. So, chances are pwedeng magkaroon talaga ng aksidente na matamaan yung defensive player. Lalo-lalo na nakita natin ngayon with Mark Pingris.
So, hindi pala offensive foul. It would be a blocking foul na itatawag on Mark Pingris. That's why Coach Tim Cone is raising a lot of foul here. Coach Tim Cone, Mark Pingris, pointing at dun sa replay na pinapakita po dito sa ating malaking screen dito sa Smart Araneta Coliseum.
Ang hirap kasi ganun talaga yung style. I've seen Mario West. Actually, marami nang nadali si Mario West dun sa ganung style na pag-drive. Because ganun talaga siya eh. That's how he does his sidestep move. Kasi normally, players would swing it sa mababa lang, near the chest level. Pero kay Mario West kasi inaangat talaga niya yung parate, no? To create space. Pero yun nga lang, it always ends up hitting the defensive player.
At masakit yun, ha?
Masakit. Ang laki nung braso ng Mario West eh.
Figuratively and literally dahil tinawa siya sa mukha at pangatlo na personal foul ni Mark Pinglis.
And I also know, I would also feel with the coach team. Siyempre magagalit ka naman talaga yun yung ace defensive player mo, nasiko na nga sa mukha tapos siya pa inatawagan ng foul. So it's a natural reaction by your head coach na talagang ireklamo niya yung call.
Offensive rebound. Mintis yung free throw ng Meralco. But there was John Wilson. Nakakuha ng offensive rebound. The way na ginagawa ng Meralco all series long at ito talaga bumubuhay sa kanila. Completely distracting. Ito kumara ng San Miguel as John Wilson misses from the free throw line.
Well, Rado, both games 1 and 2, Meralco was actually the winner when it comes to offensive rebounding. Halos 20 and 21 rebounds, offensive rebounds ang kinukuha dito ng Meralco. So itong Sandy Coffee would really have to make some adjustments trying to lower those offensive rebounds because in game number 2, 10-0 ang offensive rebounding points.
6-point lead for Meralco. As Johnny Vance, pinagdalawa, mapipilit ng ipasa sa labas to James. James, with a sidestepping move, ayaw pa rin. Rafi Rivas recovers for Sandy Coffee. Fresh 24 for the White Shirts. They go to Marcus Blakely. Mario West, nakatuman dito kay Blakely. Full roll, makikita si Rafi Rivas. The shot was short. Mario West, siya ang aatake. Tatlo sa malubog. Was forced to pass. The goal count for 3!
Great ball movement by Mario West. Very unselfish. He had it already in the shaded area. He opted to kick out on the corner.
Only a 30-second timeout. And what worries Coach Tim Cone is this might be a deja vu of what actually happened in game number 2.
You know, it's actually a good start again by the Meralco Bulls. And I actually noticed already that the Meralco field goal percentage ay maganda for this quarter. You would always expect Meralco to shoot low and makikipagdikdikan sila off defensive stops, off steals and offensive rebounds. But in this game, lalo na here in the first period, ang ganda ng shooting field goal percentage ng Meralco.
A reason for Coach Tim Cone to be more worried because in the last 2 games, kahit nananalo itong Meralco, ang pangit na shooting nila.
Yun na nga. And now, Mike Cortez is actually already with 5 points dito simula pa lang ng ating laro.
Samantala, Gingitan po patuloy sa ilalim. And John Wilson will be called for his second personal foul. He's tasked para bantayan itong si James Gap. Sila pa rin po ang nagbabatayan up to this point of the game. Knockout! Really soft pass galing kay James Gap. Huling-huli yun is John Wilson. And another guy who played very well in game number 2 is back. Jared Dillinger.
Ang hirap kasi kay Jared Dillinger, and I think kagaya nga si Coach Lee, mapasok niya si Palyari. Basically, height-wise, kaya mag-match up ni Palyari kay Dillinger. But look at Dillinger, he's taking down 2 guard, off the dribble.
Jared's been called a lot of names, pero seeing his beard and his long hair, Jedi lang ang dating. Marcus Blakely missing. Meron kanya pa rin ang bola, but he was hacked from behind. Nakataas si Mike Cortez, but I think it was a Cliff Hodge.
This guy, rather, ito si Marcus Blakely, he's definitely unstoppable on the low post. The reason why he gets a lot of free throw attempts in every game, because he always attacks underneath. Ang daming contact, ang daming sabit. Hindi basta-basta nawawala yung bola sa kanya. When you speak of power, you really speak of Marcus Blakely. The problem comes in, you get a lot, 20 plus free throws when in a close game, Rado, magiging problema talaga yan.
Missed 2 in his last drive. Pero nato si Alex Palyari. For the offensive rebound, siya pa kumatake. Siya rin ang nakakuha ng 2 puntos para sa kupunan ng San Miguel Coffee. But still, it's a big 7-point lead. for the Meralco Boss, 15-8. Cliff Hodge. Opting to attack. Paporting. Pasok yun.
It was a tough shot taken by Cliff Hodge over the outstretched arms of Joe Devance. Ang hirap na ang ganda na ng defense of Devance, and yet Hodge made that basket.
PJ Simon, at siya ngayon magtitimon. There's action behind, away from play. Ang magpapagado ang Cliff Hodge, Marcus Blakely, J.R. Reyes, Rafi Ribes. Riding the foul ng J.R. Reyes. Ito, tingnan natin itong umaating pong atake. Itong si Cliff Hodge, pabolting, pumasok. Ang kanya pong power drive na yan, natin sa inyo ng Photon, empower your business. In a series like this, Mark Pingrich is in foul trouble. Yung big men, the other big men coming off the bench for Coach Steve Con, crucial din yan. In the last game, maganda ang ipinasok na yan si Dio Campo. Guys like Rafi Ribis, kailangan magbigay din ang kanyang contribution dito.
Well, Ribis is expected to really play good defense. Nakita natin game number 2, itong si Ribis actually played great defense on Mario West. Now the question is, they need guys coming off the bench to put in the numbers. Nawala na si Pingris, dati they had Malik C, but he's injured. So they needed guys now off the bench to provide the numbers.
Ala natin, may knockout play na itong San Coffee. But Cliff Hodge ayaw sumuko though. He'll get the foul in that play and he'll get his second. Pero parang hindi nila pinagsisisihan na pinupunta sa free throw line ito si Blakely.
Yun na nga eh. That's something actually we were talking about guys coming off the bench providing the points. Yung mga supply ni Blakely on the free throw line, kailangan may ibang magpuno dyan.
This is first made free throw in the ball game. As Hodge attacks, nakita doon si J.R. Reyes, but an offensive foul will be called on Cliff Hodge. Pangatlo na rin. A lot of fouls being called dito sa magkabilang kupunan. Mark Pingrich streak. Cliff Hodges being an extended first quarter partner. Ang haba na ng pinaglalaro. A lot of fouls being committed by both teams only to intensify yung kita ng position, the hassle of voting.
Well, grabe, and you could see that yung mga guys who are expected to provide the rebounding and the defense and the energy, those are the guys who are actually sitting on the bench because of foul trouble.
Coach Steve Con, susubok na nga isang player in Bala Cunha. He filled it in for the first time in the game. Kasama ito si Sunday Salvatore ng Meralco. Yan naman, malakas sa kanyang tira. Nakakuha ni Michael Diaz, but he didn't make it using his left hand from under. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Bala Cunha, bibigyan itong si Alex Malyari. Pops it, scores his first two.
Malaking bagay yan na Bala Cunha, guy coming off the bench. Hindi nga ini-expect na maglalaro si Bala Cunha. Everyone is underestimating a guy, but now he provides 2 points for his team. Malaking bagay. It's going to be big coming off the bench.
So kahit hindi nabibigyan ng minuto, itong si Bala Cunha, alam natin, kwento sa atin ni Assistant Coach Richard Donosay. He's been playing very well in practice. That's why hindi daw tayo dapat magulat na mahuhugot itong si Bala Cunha.
Well, yun na nga actually minsan palihado din ni Coach Richard. Hindi na sasabihin na this guy can also be a weapon. Ito mo naman, first attempt, taking the shot with a lot of confidence. Bala Cunha making up for a guy like Alain Maliksi who's not being able to play anymore in the series because of an injury. You need a guy like Apunya to just come in to the game, always ready to provide the numbers.
Macma Cardona, first time in the ball game, can also be a crucial player for Coach Ryan Gregorio. Hindi pa nagbibigay ng malalaking numero na si Macma.
Yun na nakakatakot doon. So far, the first 2 games, wala masyado. 6 points was the highest that Macmac was able to score. It's a defensive game, definitely, but alam naman natin ang kakayahan ni Cardona. Anytime he can explode.
But Macma Cardona being the 9th or 10th player to be fielded in, that yung punto mismo nitong si Coach Ryan ang sinasabi niya, he has the materials right now to match itong kupunan a talented team like San Coffee.
Yun na nga, kung titingnan mo talaga yung San Coffee, and even on paper, makikita mo that their offense is actually key compared to Meralco. Of course, Meralco will thrive on their defense. But pag titingnan mo naman yung lineup ng Meralco, deceiving din because of course you have a lot of players like Cardona na hindi pa nga masyadong nabibigyan ng minuto. You have Sunday Salvacion who played well. John Wilson can be another weapon of the actually to provide offense.
Kompleto ang pang-5 at pang-6 na puntos ni Mario West. Tapos siyang makuha na ng foul itong si Ravi Rivas on his way to the basket. So it's an 8-point lead para po sa Meralco Bulls. As PJ Simon, makikita kanyang import. Marcus Blakely, pepek sa kaliwa, punta sa kanan, kanyang maltipid. At meron pa mga salitang ibinigay sa kanyang katapat-tapahan na si Mario West.
He's really all fired up and he needs to provide the numbers. Kita mo, ang bilis talaga umangat ni Marcus Blakely, especially on that tip-in.
Mario West, in his first try, binigay lang siya ni Rafi Rivas. Pangalawang beses, ipapasa naman. Sunday for 3! All net for Sunday Salvacion!
Coming off the bench, Coach Stimco, sinasabi niya, minimuestra niya dun sa sidelines. Kailangan you have to follow, especially when it comes off the screens and challenge that shot.
That time, not really well challenged itong si Alex Pagliari. At malapitan ang mga puntos na nakakuha ni Alex in his first quarter. Sunday, kailangan tutukan na. Balang niya nasa kanya. May tulong pa at makukuha pa ni Alex Pagliari. 4-on-1 situation for Sunday. They go to Blakely, who was stopped with a foul by Pacman Cardona. Sabi ni Pacman, okay lang, 4 na nga kayo doon eh. Hindi nga, nakaabot pa yung foul niya eh.
Kaya nga. Pero pag-usapan natin itong si Alex Pagliari, actually, ang ganda ng ginawa niya. He scored 4 points. Tapos dito, coming off that blind side, nakaagaw pa siya. Nabigyan niya ng assist si Blakely of that transition. He's actually matching up also with Jared Dillinger who played big in game number 2.
After missing the first 3, 3 magkakasunod din. Ang ibinigay naman na pumasok na free throws si Marcus Blakely to jump the lead of Meralco down to only 5. 8 seconds to go in the first. Meralco goes to Mario West. West, atas, malakas yun at nakukuha pa ni Blakely. As time expires, dito po sa ating first quarter, it's a 5-point ball game. Favoring itong mas mainit na nagsimula na Meralco Bulls, 22-17. At ito, patuloy po ang nangyayaring action dito. Ang aming bakbakay pinapangako magpapatuloy na mas mag-init come the second quarter.